Spencer with the Papi Negro podcast. Here with me, I got some of my homies through comedy, my comedy fam. I give it up to my homeboy, Hennessy Williams.
Yo, how we doing out there?
And give it up to the homie, J Guy.
Gang, gang. What up,
and
what up,
give
what up?
it up to the overseer, the guy behind the boards, Azam.
What's up?
Yeah, man.
I just keep fucking those up every time.
I don't
Add
get
like an applause or something to all that?
Do you want me to add like applause?
To you, like, I just want a song.
You deserve it, bro.
You do, for real.
Next one, I'll set up a drop board so you can have drops.
Cool. That's good.
It's been a while since I posted some shit, but I just want to do it different with some comedians and just talk some real shit.
Opposed to his old episodes with comedians.
Where he
talks
fake
fake
shit.
shit.
Yeah. Well, it was just more heavy in comedians because the first episode I had Ashley in it, but it's just a different feel because we're like talking anything really comedy related. But I feel like one thing I always wanted to touch on is just like the Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr specials.
Ooh. Very different, but very much similar.
But the thing is crazy about like we're living in a time of where they're talking, they're talking about some hot topic things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's crazy how both of them came out right at the time, like right around the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, was that even planned? But you had said something.
Yeah.
So pretty much this motherfucker's a legend, a comedian on Facebook. You know those passive aggressive posts where people are like, yeah, to the person that, cut me off, fuck you. Like somebody,
Yeah.
someone was like, yo, someone was in the green room and they said Chappelle is an old man shouting at the sky. And I was like, yeah, he pretty much was like, yeah, get the fuck out my green room. Mm-hmm. He goes, oh, I'm that nigga they're talking about. And then he makes a status like, hey guys, look, he's talking about me. To the point where the comedian took the whole status off. Boss move.
Can you
I-
explain
yeah,
that? Because
I-
I'm
I-
lost
I-
still. Like,
I dig that.
Obviously, I am the idiot in this whole podcast. Can you explain what you just said right now in layman's terms?
In layman's terms,
And not make it like very
It's coded because he doesn't want to say
coded.
names.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Identities.
somebody made a post. What was the post?
Post saying that about a young comedian was pretty much talking.
Gave his opinion on Dave Chappelle, and it wasn't effusive praise. So I told that young comedian, stay the F out of my green room.
and
Because if you're not ready to be, it's one of those things of like, you should be defending comedy at every turn, no matter what kind of a comedian you are.
Exactly.
So, but he goes, oh, I'm who they're talking about.
Yeah,
and, And no one addressed him. All his homies were liking it, but no one addressed him. He took it further up more.
He was like, I'm the guy.
Yeah, I'm
because I'm the motherfucker making this shit. I'm changing the game.
I'm glad you understand.
Yeah.
Finally, no. It was one of those things where it was subtweeting. You know what I mean?
Right.
All I did was go in the comments and then say, "Oh, this story is about me. He's talking about me, you guys." And then I shared the post and said, "This guy's talking about me." And then the post got deleted.
Oh, dude, that's super smart, bro.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's
Well,
why
I'm
I
not
said
coming
fuck
at
with
it with
that. That's
anger
brilliant.
on
Yeah,
paper.
no.
That's crazy.
but the crazy thing about this,
Did you get a lot of hate from that? No.
but the funny
Bro,
thing
that's
about
fucking,
that,
you know what that means? That means like even though motherfuckers can hate you, they're not gangster enough to approach you about
Not
that
at all.
shit. It's like
all his
he can
friends
have
liked it.
He can have it.
No one
That's
said
what
anything
it
to you.
is.
You
No,
shared
that's
it.
what it is.
Did you saying that, and they still didn't even say nothing to you.
fuck that.
But that's to let you know about the comedy world that like people smile in your face
Oh,
and
they
then
mad.
do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, you were sitting on that for that long. So next time you see them, they're like, hey, what's up? You
And that's
know,
the crazy thing is this.
You say
this
comedy
comedian,
world.
I knew him
but-
for a while.
it's life in
I've known
general.
him for years doing stand up. The comedian in question, I've actually known him. It didn't seem that.
Wait, what the
contentious.
comedian say? What did he post?
That's pretty much what he did.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what.
Oh,
It was
matter of
specifically
fact,
about the phrase.
He said open micer. So,
I feel like I want to accept that term. I am an open micer.
but he said it like an open micer, like
To shame my
To shame you, to make you
diminish
feel
like,
my
right, diminish your
value and my
credibility. Right, right, right.
credibility. He wanted to diminish my
He's
credibility.
like
by calling
headliner.
me
That
an
guy's an open
micer.
micer.
Yeah.
so it was like, so when he said that, I'm like, oh, it must be a new nigga out here that did it like 1 or 2 years
Yeah.
that did that. But when you had texted me, I was like, He's calling you an open micer? What?
It's so funny, bro. Because I value the term open micer, right? That's not normal to want to have that accolade attributed to your name.
And essentially, guys,
It's
open
a
micer.
road warrior.
It's a
an
road
open
warrior.
mic.
Like I feel
That's all
like
that means.
even if you're a headliner, you're still gonna do new jokes at an open mic. Like you're forever an open mic. Everybody's forever. If you're in the comedy game, you're forever gonna be an open micer because even Kevin Hart, even the top names do fucking road shows, do fucking clubs that they want to try out new material, right? Open micer is the essence of I'm fucking. It's like the most to me. It's the most courageous fucking person you can be. Because you're fucking getting out there with shit that has never been said before.
Bro.
Like, to me, that's fucking dope as shit, bro. Even if it's gonna bomb. Like,
I've seen people take off their
you're
pants
a monster,
at an
bro.
open mic.
You're a monster, bro.
Really?
You're fucking getting out there. That's the most confidence you'll
He's
ever
so
have.
passionate about.
Bro, for real. Because if
He
this
sells
motherfucker...
hats with the word open micer on them. I just want you guys to know that.
I don't sell my fucking ass, bro. If somebody asks me, I'll give you a hat. But for sure... As to me, a person who gets on stage, who has never said some shit before, and they think about it as this is, to me, this is hilarious. I want to share my opinion. Passive aggressive, whatever it is, I want to share my opinion, and I feel like this is funny. To me, I think that's the bravest thing you can fucking do because regardless if you're a musician,
This
if
nigga
you're a
is
fucking
still
comedian, if you're whatever it is, whatever
saying
art
so
you're
Doing
doing,
new jokes
whatever,
is
dude,
the bravest
to me,
thing you can do.
bro,
No
You're saying
one.
all this to say what?
Yeah.
I'm saying all this to say, like, buy my hat, son.
He's fucking selling hats.
Buy my hat. No.
I was
fuck that.
literally gonna
Fuck
say,
that.
It was like an
No, I'm
Amazon
like,
ad.
To me, that's super dope, bro. I feel like open micers are to be an open micer. Like, you're going to try new shit at an open mic. You're not going to do that on a show. And even if you did it on a show, you're going to prelude it with jokes that that work. You're like, hey, I know these shits work. I know you guys are going to like me, and I'm going to try to give my opinion on some other shit. And because you like me, you'll be more susceptible to like this stuff I'm talking about.
That's the whole
right?
point of it, though.
Right. But as an open micer, you're like, you don't know who the fuck I am. You have no idea who I am. And if these jokes work, that makes me 10 times fucking doper than a motherfucker
He wants to
who's
lean on the
already
material.
likable, bro.
For real.
This is this guy who wants to lean on the material, which is fine.
I don't know if
It's
that's
just
what
fine.
it is,
But hold on,
bro.
so
In the context of our conversation, though, it was used disparagingly.
But hold on, you said something that was interesting
Yeah.
about so you said that what Dave Chappelle said in that special, you said that some of the things he said,
Did
it was like attacking. He knew what he was doing because even though he knew it hurts that community, but he's doing it anyway. But you felt like he's just doing
What
it.
community
because-
are you
I called it tone deaf. I'll do what I'll just save you the. I called it tone deaf, and the reason I call it tone deaf is because what I said was, well, what else do I call a person who I think is not necessarily mean but won't stop doing what he's doing? That means he doesn't understand. And if you do understand, you're forcing me to eventually have to decide: are you just mean-spirited, or are you still not getting it? Because this is a person who is making jokes about all that stuff, and I don't care about. You guys have heard my material. I don't seem to be championing any sort of type of material, but it's literally this idea of this is what you're doing. Your jokes are very good. You can keep doing your jokes, but stop being upset that people are calling you what they're calling you.
Yeah.
Stop that. I don't care for the fake outrage on your own behalf of like, I thought I was a free artist. I thought I was an artist. You thought you were an artist? Like, for real? You're a public figure in the tens of millions of dollars. You are no longer an artist.
Do you feel? I'm just gonna ask you. Do you feel like because he's a public artist in that domain, does he have a responsibility to speak his truth?
He has a responsibility to be very good at telling jokes because he's a stand-up comedian. Now, on the secondary level, as far as like what he does in the social sphere, what his material goes to, if he understands that people are coming to him for a certain thing, at some point you have to understand, like Charles Barkley said, I'm not a role model. Well, guess what, Charles? You kind of are, even if you didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Because kids don't hear all the gambling talk and all that stuff you do on the side. All they see is you play basketball and you smiling on a Wheaties box. So you're a role model.
But
you took that check.
But the
you
thing
took
about
that money.
Dave Chappelle is that when people watch him, they look at him like, oh, okay, he's saying
That's who
this is
the
the
guy
morality.
is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is the morale. He's saying things in a smart manner. So when you hear him say that, even though some of the shit he said, I was like, yo, that's hilarious. But I don't think about it in the sense of like, oh, this is offends the trans community.
Yeah.
Plus the black community, yet alone Caribbean community, like we don't live in like the
It doesn't register.
Oh, absolutely.
That
Like,
register is rude,
we're
right?
up to speed with the LBG, but the T part, we're like, huh? Like, the T part, a lot of people are like, whoa.
That's the thing about the T part is like, God, that movie is going to take a while to get made. Like, whatever their movie is that's supposed to come and everyone hears about the first trans person to ever XYZ.
It already happened. The
I
movie
know.
already happened.
Yeah,
but
and
it's
it's
I'm
not
saying the one that
It's
takes
not
over the
that
country.
movie.
It's not
That's
that
what
mo-
he's saying. It's not.
It's
that
not
movie.
that thing where everyone goes,
Yeah.
okay, let's stop. Like, it hasn't happened in that, and you know, it sucks for the people going through that, and it just, for me as a comedian, as a person who is like thinking about this on a scale, like no matter what, I have to tell jokes that I believe in.
But
right?
you are a unicorn because not a lot of black dudes are talking like, yo, bro, this is tone deaf. Not a lot. So what, have you always been this aware?
Uncomfortably so, yeah, but it's one of those things where even if I am, that doesn't make me ahead of my time.
Feel you.
You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always weird when people act like you're progressive for having ideas that are just based in reason. It's not very progressive to think a trans person should be allowed to do pretty much anything all they want that is literally common sense legal.
Right.
You get what I mean? So this idea of like, but how am I supposed to understand you? I have to write this joke because I don't. It's like, you still don't? You're 46.
Yeah.
Like, how do you still not get
But
it?
there's not a lot of things that I'm gonna grasp. You know what I'm saying? Like being in theater most of my life, like being near gay and lesbian people, I'm like, all right, okay. But the trans thing, it's like, it's just mad different, bro. Man, this nigga cleaning his nails, he got something to contribute.
No, man.
That laugh was
Jay's about to show
Yeah.
his age.
I was like, that laugh scared the shit
I
out
don't
of
get
me.
all this
You know what?
niggas in dresses shit.
You know what's so funny? He's like, I'm drunk. I might fuck around and ruin my career.
Just keep it fucking mouth.
Hey, first of all,
I got tickets to sell.
First of all, hey,
Uh-oh.
listen.
Uh-oh.
I'm super happy this nigga said I got a career.
Let's not skip over that.
Let's
fact.
not skip over that. He thinks I got a career.
Oh,
Nah,
this is what we. This
There's
is what
none.
we're doing,
There's
bro.
none of that.
But
You know what I
it's
mean?
an
I get
interesting.
it.
It's an interesting thing where like, especially because like the white community we can't really talk about, but the black community is one thing. But we're of Caribbean descent. That shit, like, I don't think that shit will ever like.
It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take their kids being fucking out of the system, out of the thought echo chamber, having a few ideas that organically are allowed to grow for once. Because the person that you are is ultimately, you know, heavily in, heavily influenced by those you're around, right?
Yeah.
But if you take somebody who understands Haitian culture, understands Caribbean culture, but they grow up somewhere else, and they just have an opportunity to get an outsider's perspective while hearing what happens on the inside, then you're more apt and more able to kind of figure out what is bullshit, what isn't. Like, no, we shouldn't kill gay people because they're gay. Like,
Yeah.
you realize that
Yeah.
because you went to college and you're like, nah, this is kind of a
Yeah.
bad idea.
Yeah.
It just takes getting out of that ecosystem, getting out of that place. And then you can, hopefully, if you care enough, it's kind of like when people, you hope the ones who leave the hood come back to fix it.
But that's a problem though, because like you see, like what happened with Nipsey Hussle is like, a lot of people that want to help the hood,
it deters
want
you. I
want to
understand.
help from far away.
I understand. It's
This is a
it's tough.
complete. This is a complete non sequitur. I was looking through the news and I'm like, yo, bro, the Democrats gonna fuck this shit up again.
Only if they let Biden win.
But
He's not got it.
That's what I'm saying. He's on. He's teetering right now.
Yeah, he is.
He's teetering right now.
you know what's making him teeter even more? That Barack Obama won't co-sign him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. He's not gonna get it.
No question, he won't
but
get it.
they're probably gonna pass Elizabeth Warren. I'm like,
My only
No.
concern with her, and I would love to have her, is not enough people know anything about her, like the average American.
No, yeah, that's my worry. But I'm also like, what is it? Saw a poll where it was like 56% of Americans are like anyone who's like a cat.
A breathing,
I'll vote for a fucking cat.
Yeah, he's unless it's heavily influenced by outside forces, he'll probably lose. You'd think. You would think.
Kamala Harris is not going through it.
No, she's fucking trash. Kamala Harris is out.
No, he's out. Bernie, I don't think he's gonna do it this time around.
No,
He's just a good
doing
shot.
work.
He is a good shot. The reason why he might do it is soft patriarchy, where people go, I can't let Warren.
I love
Like,
where
they're
this
not
podcast
ready.
is at in the second episode.
This is professionalism at its finest.
I just want to say that to anybody who's watching, this is the second episode recorded in the day. So obviously that's why everyone's wearing the same clothes. And this is after the bottle has been completely consumed.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? We had a break.
Yeah. This is a short
We
break.
had a break,
We
bro.
had a
Short break.
Could have used the bathroom.
I put
Didn't.
them to work.
But yeah, but now like I thought about that. I was like, yo, bro, Biden's fucking it up. And he's
He was
fucking up.
never a good candidate. Like I don't understand
But you know
why
what's the
people thought he was
problem?
gonna be good.
A lot of black people just see that he was with Obama, and they're like, "Oh, that was his man's in them." So I can't even say man's in them, but some people are like, "Oh, well, he was with him," so they associate.
Yeah,
Barack
well,
Obama.
that's the last piece of information they had on him.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But
You're
some
dealing with
people don't want to
uninformed-
even look furthermore.
That's what
Some
I'm
people
saying.
wanna-
That the problem is that like we let voters off the hook by letting them be uninformed. They need to stop doing that. These people are adults.
But yeah,
you should know.
But you know, some people just are they're just get the cookie cutter fed shit, and they're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's with Obama. All right, so I'm associating this with boom that."
Where the stakes are too high to keep not knowing who a candidate is.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But
Like-
that's what's good. I feel like they're overcomplicating things, and that's why the Republicans are definitely going.
But like the Republicans are doing a terrible job of running the country.
Oh, absolutely.
And like even people who don't normally talk about politics are like,
This is
the
out
fuck
of
is
control.
happening? Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely.
This would be a
trust me.
catastrophic failure if the Democrats were to lose the 2020 election. Like this would be one of those like indictment on an entire generation.
Oh, real
sort
shit.
of things if he were to be elected twice. It'd be like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
you guys,
he's not.
you
He's not.
fucked the country.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
illiterate, like for real.
But
This
I
was
feel
the time.
like,
Fucking love this episode.
oh my god,
Sure. Just I'm gonna
Jay
save
is
you.
also drunk.
Aggressive pores. He's off camera because of the way I
drove
shot
almost
this.
Is he
2
off-
hours to do this.
Is he?
Yeah,
off?
I love it. I love it.
This is.
We talked about politics. Jake
This
gave me
motherfucker.
a Florida pour.
Wait, hold on. Is the door?
Can I ask
It's-
some
it's
questions
open
about
enough.
Politics?
You could-
Like, as a regular person who doesn't care much about them, like, I feel like if you don't have money, you should shut the fuck up about politics.
Hold the fuck up.
Because-
What?
Yeah, bro, that's how I feel. I feel like if you don't have money, you have no effect about politics at all. Most of the time, you're yelling about what you feel on social media, and all you're doing is turning off anybody to fucking listen to what you have to say, and you have no direct effect on what political structure, advice, whatever it is. There's nothing you're doing that's going to change my
You can't
vote.
let apathetic people win. No, that's how
Yeah.
you lose
Yeah, nah,
your
my guy.
land.
Like, I
okay?
respect-
It's
Like,
you
here's the
letting
thing. I believe
apathetic
what I
people
believe.
just
Yeah, no, I'm
do
not saying
nothing
what I
and
believe.
go
I'm
into
gonna
the
vote who I vote for.
Of course.
By no
if you
means-
don't have money, there's nothing you're doing that is changing the way people think. If you don't have money, you're not fucking influence anything.
What happened in Hong Kong like last week?
I don't know, bro.
Okay,
I don't,
because those people came together and they actually got laws overturned on like a big
that's the
scale.
same thing people talk about gun control. They're like, yo, what happened with Parkland? Those kids came together and they influenced
No. I'm
gun
talking about the
control.
people of Hong Kong have literally got China, the most immovable government in this world right now,
Yeah.
to agree to something.
Which is what?
They will no longer extradite people from
Yeah.
Hong Kong to China.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
literally
Hong
one of
Kong-
the demands were met.
Yeah.
Because
How
millions of
often
people
does
protested.
How often does that happen?
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Is
But
what I'm
millions
saying
of
is,
people
how
need
often
to.
does that happen?
Because there's not
How
enough.
often does
You're
that
better
happen
off
in
trying than not trying
America?
because you don't think people will
but the
do it.
but the problem is there's not enough solidarity.
Yeah,
Bro, in
because-
America, there's no solidarity.
that's the
But
point.
that's the
you
point.
have your belief. I have my belief.
But the problem
he has
is-
his belief.
But this is the problem. Like, let's say, like,
Regardless of what you say, I already know who I'm voting for.
no. We're not.
You
even,
understand that
not
mentality is
even-
what I'm
what
saying. Like
makes
that-
Haiti not be able to be Haiti.
We'll give an example.
Like you need to
like
free
for
yourself.
instance, let's say that.
Right, you need to have an open
Wait,
mind. But what I'm
let-
saying, the typical
Jay, hold up.
Let
What I'm
Phil
trying to
say his
is,
thing.
like, if we're all campaigning, we need this. What eventually happens is that the entity would be like, all right, well, we'll give you a little bit of this.
to
Will
shut
this
you
shut
up.
you up? And some people will break off and try to make a deal that work for them instead of the whole
Yeah.
conglomerate itself. So that's why the lack of solidarity will end up fucking up everything. And then you'll have people,
Everything,
and
bro.
then you'll have
then you'll
someone
have
else
the
will
people
break
who-
in and then fuck shit up so that, they're not credible. Look at these people. Why should we want to communicate with people that act a certain way?
Problems- I mean,
So
the country's
that's
just too physically
Right.
big. As on a
Initially,
map.
if me and
That's
you
it.
are on the same page, what you're saying is the opposition will create a ideal that you can agree to, but I can't. Right, and that'll separate me and you, which will make us weaker in our progress to progress forward. So they already understand the psychology of, hey, I could break those two apart and I could give them just a tad and F the other group. You get what I'm saying? It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And unless you have money, unless you have capital to say, hey,
You do have money. The people have the most
the
money.
people are broke, bro.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I
most of the
agree with
people
him on
live
that. We are
direct
broke,
deposit to
but-
direct deposit.
But the
and that's
act-
what I'm saying.
This
Like,
is your like.
But
You gotta understand, like literally, the American constituency is the money. The moment, like, it's really unfathomable to think about, but literally, a work stoppage of one day cripples this nation.
yeah, if
One day
yeah.
would cripple
If-
this nation.
As a nation, we all collectively went, we're not showing up to, like, fucking Area 51. They can't stop us all. They can't fire us off. We don't show the fuck up to work. Billions, trillions of dollars are lost overnight because we don't have enough AI to take up the jobs. We don't have enough automation to take up every job. Like, if I didn't show up to work, if everybody in my office didn't show up to work, no teacher showed up, no daycare showed up, that is a stoppage to everything.
how often does that happen?
That's the point, though. Is it took one time. The government would literally have to listen if literally everyone just stopped for one day. And I understand you're saying that's pie in the sky shit. But the
It
closer you
is
work and
to
the more
me.
you work to pie in the sky, the closer you get to having some kind of dessert.
But the thing is, the government, to me, psychologically, the government is so smart. They've been here a billion years, and they understand the psychology of human nature to where they won't let it get to that point. They won't let, like, we already lost. It's like, I understand what your deepest, darkest
They lost
human
the French
needs are.
Revolution.
Right. To me, it's like, I
heads
understand
cut
what
off,
it
like they
is.
lost.
I know what it is. I already know what it is. I know the game, right? I understand. I've been here a billion years. I got the smartest people on my team. We know your every move. You have no chance to win. You have to actually garner a billion people to feel the same way you feel, and I know how to break that apart. I know every single move to break that apart because I've studied it, and you guys are too fucking stupid to understand what you're doing, what you're trying to ask for. I get what you're trying to ask for, but I'm a billion steps ahead of you.
But the problem is, it's not even if they understand how the human psychology or anything like that works. It's when they notice that other people are following this person that is requesting all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can know what the human psychology and all that shit could do, but once you see the opposing force is rallying lots of people, 2 people shouting out loud ain't gonna do shit. But when you see 3 people get to that group, 5 people, 10, 50, 20, then people are like, yo, okay, this is a problem, and now we gotta shut shit down any means
Exactly, and that's
necessary.
when that dude gets murdered and nobody gives a fuck. And
Well,
then,
the
like,
new
oh,
strategy, it's the same strategy that like white supremacists use, which is no leader. Like,
no leader.
that's
no
the way you
leader.
keep a movement alive. There's no leader, but that's why Hong Kong shit is working. There's no leader.
Yeah.
There's nobody to kill, so they're
Yeah.
just getting their demands made. They're shutting down airports. They're fucking shutting shit down. It's a blueprint to the entire
And the other
world
thing
that, like, this
is
shit
they're
can't work.
fucking scared. We're not fucking scared.
Nobody's
We're
scared.
too
I'm not
poor to be
scared.
scared. Like, for them, it's the difference between freedom of information and a totalitarian dictatorship. For them, it is pure terror because they know what their family on the mainland dealt with. Hong Kong has lived in this little bubble. We haven't. We're a nation of people who are fucking broke. We don't have time, or we don't have the ability to take a day off in Essentium. And that's why it works. And you are right. Money gives you power. But on the other front, that money could easily be taken away. All it takes is one kid who's smart enough and he can disassemble Amazon. Because that's why Amazon is as big as it is. Yeah. It was one guy in his house who had a good idea. Like, and I'm not saying like
years to cultivate Amazon.
No, he didn't. He started selling books out of his house.
Right. He started selling books. He said, "What is the best way out of all the actual economic things to sell? What is the least overhead that I have to spend?" And the most capital I can gain. I could sell fucking books.
I'm not saying that.
And that took years to cultivate to the point now where he's a fucking billionaire.
Trillionaire. But that's not the point. He had one good idea about selling books, and he just racked it up. And yeah, it was a good idea, but he still had to sell a physical item. All it takes is some guy who's smart enough to sell us something that doesn't exist, that we all want at all times, and it isn't tethered to a massive media conglomerate. Like, if Netflix didn't need to pay for actors, they could literally digitally hit a button and be like, you're getting season 4 of a show like True Detective with Will Smith and Brad Pitt, and you didn't have to pay anybody, and it costs nothing.
Lies. That's all lies.
How is that lies?
Because people don't do shit for nothing.
No, that's the point. If you can make something that costs nothing but is worth everything.
Yeah.
Talking about literally eliminating
and who does
the
that
job
help more? Job elimination. Who does that help more? The people or the government?
It doesn't, but that's the point I'm making.
You know, we shouldn't have jobs.
All it takes is one person to have a better idea. And Jeff Bezos can go from being a trillionaire to slowly but surely losing his money. Blockbuster was a $1 billion company. One guy had a good idea, and now they don't exist.
But the thing about that, because the foundation of Amazon is so strong, it's going to take that much longer for someone to...
Their foundation's not that strong.
Because you got to understand, because...
The tea company is gone. You know that tea company, that India tea, that was the biggest company of all time. The India English fucking whatever that...
East
Indian tea company was the largest company of all time. Ask a 17-year-old, do they know that? No. Because that's how fickle business is. Yeah. You can't be destroyed. Just because you have money doesn't make you impervious to destruction. You can absolutely
The reason why we still have cars that run on gas is because they're trying to stranglehold onto that. One day, probably sooner than later, it will die.
Absolutely.
Because they're just holding on with brute strength, but the market value is not there.
I feel like the same people who hold on to ethanol and gas and who say, hey, you need gas, regardless of whatever's happening, they're going to be the people who transition us as a whole.
They don't know how to transition over yet. That's the only
But they're going to be the people who buy the company. They're going to be the people because they have the money and the capital to buy the company who's saying, this is the way to do it, and this is how I control you.
But you know, the thing is, it goes all back to what we were talking about before. It just takes a good group of people willing to work together to get that shit done. Because Jeff Bezos
refused to sell, and all of a sudden, oil man has no power.
So that's pretty much
you understand that, right?
I understand the oil man has no power, but the oil man has the money to buy the person who has the power.
But what if I don't want to sell?
If, this is revolutionary, I just won't sell because I'll outlast.
Or if the oil man passes. That's often what kills businesses is they pass. Hubris, the very ego that fuels this podcast talking about like come on women's faces is what kills. Yeah, fucking Blockbuster had the ability to buy Netflix and they went, fuck you. And Blockbuster's gone. Like it's just Sears had the ability to buy, I want to say an early version of Overstock. They said, fuck off. Sears is fucking gone. It doesn't matter.
They're selling like lawn.
What you're saying is, you're telling me names are changing and the new power is changing, but to me, revolutionary, it's gonna be the same fucking thing where America destroys itself. We're gonna destroy ourselves.
To be honest, like if you
because of Capitalism.
If you were to think about it, like the way the Roman Empire happened, like that was like 1,000 years they ruled. But if you think about it, the internet age advanced us so much that we're probably right on time
To be destroyed.
Well, before some shit,
We're not going to be destroyed. We're just not going to be
the
clear
superpower we
number
are.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like
I feel like we're not the number one now.
Yeah, but then everyone will agree
But
in
now
the
it-
country.
but now it's like it's still like debatable. Like like they'll be like, well, China's doing all right.
Yeah, we've
is
not been the world
Yeah.
superpower for a while.
This is a complete non sequitur.
Go.
Most of them are.
This is this right here
Yeah,
is
go.
a complete.
Go.
like,
I'm so curious now.
because I have Jay and Hennessy here.
Yep.
I feel like I gotta talk about side piece management.
What the
Bro,
fuck
let's
is
do it.
that?
Just
Not
let's
letting
get
your
into
power
it.
be taken from you.
Bro,
I
let's
feel
talk
like
about it.
I feel like during all this time about us talking about this and that, and I was like, yo, this is a waste for me not to have these
I have
two.
these two guys on here.
To have these two. It's
talk
like
some fuck shit.
it's like having Iron Man and Batman chilling
Bro.
with you, and you don't talk about tech.
Yeah, you got
Wow,
to
okay.
Like it's just like
That's a great
I'm
metaphor.
I'm fascinated.
That is
You're
a great
fascinating.
metaphor.
I was thinking about this. I'm like, damn, they talking about politics. How do I talk about side pussy? Like that's how do I talk?
I'm just going to drop this hammer in the middle of this
Blah!
show.
That's what I was feeling like.
Thor hammer, man.
No, absolutely, bro. Like you two, out of all the people I've done comedy with, you two.
The most side pieces.
No, not even that. Not even that a lot. Y'all are two people. Like you guys are at like. Y'all like one and the same, and y'all don't even know it. Probably like y'all know how like the psychology of like breaking down game. Because back in the day, me and you used to talk a lot, and I remember how you talk about game and hearing how you are. Artiste is more with flair.
Thank you.
The only difference,
flair.
he has more flair, but like, okay, this is how it is. You are more brute and direct.
Yeah, no. I don't give
You're more brute and direct. He's more like, okay, I'm gonna understand this, and okay, all right, well, let me make this palatable.
Yeah,
You're like,
I don't understand, but I know what works. You know what I
you
mean?
are like, it's like when you get children Motrin that got grape flavored. This nigga's like, no, if you don't like the taste of it, bitch, you gonna die.
This is like medicine from the 1860s.
Yeah, that's what he,
That's what he
he's
is.
giving the cough syrup that had like
Civil
cocaine,
War.
weed.
Fucking Civil War medicine.
That's
Just cut limbs off.
yeah, that's what he is.
Great metaphor, bro. That's a great metaphor. I would like to understand that aspect of game because I don't to me, I don't empathize with that. You know what I mean? I
With
don't
that?
empathize. I don't empathize with like feelings, bro. I don't care about feelings.
I feel like this is
care.
the second time this podcast I'll say
You-
you have some sociopathic.
That's the thing about
tendencies.
not empathizing with the feelings.
What
is
feelings
because
of what feelings in what in regard though.
in a regard to where I will change up my MO. Like my what my
You don't like compromise.
is. I don't compromise. I don't. I feel like a woman will gravitate to what I like because I'm that like a girl will gravitate. Like if I love comedy or if whatever it is that I love, a girl who I'm not even chasing, a girl who I'm courting.
she will find interest in
She
that.
will
That's
find
just what women
interest
do.
in that.
They tend
Because
to
they
like
do
the
that.
things we
Yeah.
like because they want to know more about it.
Exactly.
They fall in love with you completely.
Exactly.
But here's the thing about not empathizing with them is you create a path behind you of unruly, chaotic minions and gremlins
Yep.
running around, and at some point you are responsible to society to not keep releasing those
Yes.
people into
So
the
now
world.
she's gonna hurt the next nice
like
nigga.
like
her-
you just have to be a grown up that way. Like
Yeah.
to me that was
has
my
nothing
thing.
to do with me. But I feel like my relationships.
That's always been my thing. Was I can't
Azam,
let that
what
out.
do you have to say about that, bro?
I have no fucking clue. I've been in a relationship for 9 years. Everything
you
you
out
just
the-
said was terrifying.
Yo, you're out the game. Good. Yo,
I've
both-
been well out the game.
What?
I fucking
I'm
just
in
got
love.
a while ago.
I'm doing well.
He's out the game. You know what's so funny?
I'm always out the game.
First of all, I'm not out the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in the game. I understand.
I
the
got a
game.
girlfriend,
I
but I'm
still
in the
play.
game.
I play. You know, I'm not playing like I'm fucking other bitches. But also, you know what I mean? I
That's for you, Sarah.
understand. I understand the dynamic of the relationship. Like I understand the dynamic of the relationship, and I feel like in order for this to work properly, my girl has to understand certain Like, she has to understand my value. She's got to understand what I'm bringing to the table. And she has to understand that I can get what she's bringing to the table from multitude of people.
Spend so long worried that they'll take advantage of you that you forget to be nice to them.
No, I'm super nice, bro. Like
you
that's the
spent
thing.
so long.
That's the thing, my guy. Like, I'm super nice. I'll still,
Are ya?
bro? I'll open the door. You know what I mean? I open the
That's
door.
some bare minimum shit right there.
No, see, this is the thing, right?
Okay,
So
I'm
You know what's
listening.
the funny part?
You
Hold
have
on.
my full attention, Jay.
You know,
Tell
this
me
is the-
more.
This is the fucked up part. He's so lit right now that he can't really defend himself the right way.
No,
like
no,
that's
like,
the fuck.
give-
I've seen
what
him.
do you mean?
I've seen
Hold
him.
on.
I've seen him with his girl, but it's the funny thing about like,
Bro, you
he's-
see me with my girl, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand there's a power dynamic in that relationship?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
You've
I'm saying
explained
there
this power
is
dynamic on podcasts before.
exactly,
I've
exactly,
heard
and
your
that's
views.
what I live. There's no difference to what I'm living. I'm
The
living
more
what I'm
apparent
saying.
it is, the more brutal it seems. You understand?
Yeah, bro.
It
And
must
I
be
feel like it's a
subverted if you're
brutal.
going to
It's
have
a
this,
yo,
like,
bro.
for the
It's a
necessity
brutal
of your
relationship. If you break it down in the most basic terms, it's a brutal relationship. But if you understand
Brutal
the
in what
dynamic-
regards? We gotta have the audience.
brutal in what regards is that a female has to be willing to. She can't have pride. You know what I mean? She has to have a nature of I want to be submissive. I want to please, and that's the girls that I don't know if I attract or I build
It's just
based
hotep
on my relationship.
Yo, wait. To think about, is Jay Guy a hotep?
Yeah.
What
I
the
never
fuck
thought,
is a hotep?
bro.
I don't know. He got to break that down to me.
Yeah, what the fuck is a hotep?
Hotep
That's
is
a
like,
Royce 5'9". You know what I mean? This nigga.
Fucking,
throwing rap
I'm in a
lyrics
fucking
and shit.
metalcore band. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Give me
yo,
more
like,
information.
I never thought, yo, hotep is like when those black guys were like the fucking.
Nah, I ain't wearing no
They're very-
canvas. Newton.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Okay.
like, you know, so
Here's the thing. This is my thing. I don't feel like a woman will ever be my equal. I feel like I bring more value to the table than a girl can be because that's what caused
on a first date.
No, I don't.
But
give
he
a fuck.
makes it
like
work.
I don't care. But like that's the thing.
Wait.
Like, I feel like I bring.
Love that.
Wait,
I was like, I don't give a fuck.
wait, hold on.
I
love the way you
don't.
said
I
that.
don't care.
You
I
said-
feel like in order to attract a woman that I feel like I'm attracted to,
Yeah.
I have to bring more value up front.
Okay.
I have to bring more value up front so she can be even open to the idea that me and her can be together. Right?
Okay.
So it's like, hey, I need to make this amount of money.
So-
I need to have this vehicle.
This is a
I
guy
need to
who's
have this
upset
home. I
that
need
he's
to have.
gotta-
I need to be.
So,
I
Jay,
need to create
you
this
know what
amount
you're
of
saying?
fun. What?
The lure has to be better than the catch.
Of course.
But this is being
Of
upset
course.
that you had
if you
to
trying to
put.
catch a fucking shark, my guy, right? If you're trying to
Oh,
catch
you
a
dropped on
shark,
my guy.
and there's a bunch of motherfucking fishermen in the ocean, and they all got shrimp on their fucking line. Don't
need a
you want to
dog.
be the guy who's putting a fucking
My
salmon on the line? To where it's something different. To where it's like a girl who's a
love
beast
how
who's like, hey,
passionate-
hey, there's a bunch of shrimp out here, right? I
at
want
this
something
salmon.
different, and I want the value to be exceeded above shrimp.
But here's the thing: you can never tell a shark, "I got you a salmon." They don't like that.
No, I'm not gonna try to break it down logically.
How else do you demonstrate
I'm
that
not
you
gonna
have had
break
more
down
value in
logically.
that moment, sir?
I am.
How else are you planning to
Continue.
demonstrate that you are more
You
valuable?
have to do it subtle. You have to be a subtle. Like that's the thing.
Okay.
You can't be logical to a person who's built on emotion. I feel like females are built on emotion.
Okay.
Right? Females are built on emotion, so you
I'm not
can't
just
explain
agreeing.
logically.
I'm just
to
saying,
what
right, so I can
like,
just
no,
keep
that's what I'm
moving
saying. You can't do logical to a female. You have to show them. You have to show them your value. So once you get their attention, then you do the nice things. I open the door. I fucking take you out to dinner. You're not paying for shit. It's like, hey, look, listen, this is my value, and I'm not going to speak on it.
Yeah.
Because you've been in relationships before, right? You understand the dynamic of a relationship. So when I'm doing all these things, in my mind, I'm like, I understand. Motherfuckers don't do this shit that I'm doing. This is weird, right?
exclusive.
This is weird. This is exclusive. And then it's when you act out of order, it's when I snatch all that shit up. And I'm like, nah, go ahead, do your own thing. Go back out there in the fucking ocean
that's fine.
and find a dude who's going to do the shit I did without you even asking for it.
That's
without
fine.
you
that's
complaining
but
about
the thing
it.
is, that's why I said y'all two, like, it's like y'all have like the same school of knowledge, but the way y'all enact it is totally different. In all honesty, in my mind, you two are the Malcolm X and MLK when it comes to game. Like,
Okay, wait.
When it
Did
comes-
you
one
really
of us
just
got a
reference
holiday.
civil rights leaders
no.
to describe their?
God, but one of us got a holiday. So I need you to know that.
When it comes to game, and the way they're thinking, like, if you were to play this back 20 years from now, they'd be like, look at him, he's so
caring, and this one's just like, I'm establishing fucking dominance.
Exactly.
that.
That's what it is. It's like, yo, look. Hey, you have, and logically, when a woman thinks about it, right? She's like,
Okay.
yo, this guy is doing, like,
You know the-
I don't ever have to I don't have
When
to
she
open the
thinks
door. You know what I mean? I don't have to open the door. I never have to fucking open my pocketbook. All the shit, that 50-50 bullshit that fucking the new millennials are taught, hey, you buy the drinks, she fucking pays for the food or whatever. We're splitting this down the bill. Like, as a man, I don't believe in none of that shit. I know that's my responsibility, right?
Okay.
And I think that doesn't exist anymore. And I think
So-
when I show that, that's a value. Hey, this is the value you're getting for,
But I have a question, though.
When's the last time you had a conversation?
I have conversations all the time.
But
and
this
here's
is
the
the
thing.
fu-
The question you should have asked is, when's the last time you had a conversation that you actually fucking paid attention to what she was saying? And that's been a long
Well, that's a
fucking
conversation.
time, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's not a
I was like-
conversation otherwise.
No,
That's not a
yeah.
conversation otherwise. So
Like,
that is the conversation.
I'll hear that shit, and part of me is like, none of that shit
But you know what's the
matters
fucked up
because
part?
as a
You know what's the
man-
crazy part for Jay? When he talks and interacts with people, this is his inner thoughts and the frequency.
Yeah,
Because
Well,
it's
but
horrid. It
here's
could never
what I'm
work.
curious about,
But
though.
the thing
Like,
is, the intensity of how he's talking is in the mind. So when he's talking to people, he's like, "Hello, how are you doing?" He's not gonna be in a girl's face like, "Ah!" Like,
No,
he's not gonna
I,
be like that.
I get
But-
that. This is
none of
fucking
that.
honesty juice.
But-
But like, what I'm fascinated by, again, I've been in a relationship for 9 years, going on
Suppressing
10.
a little bit.
Like, all the things you lambasted against, I do, and I'm in a committed, happy relationship. Like,
Black men
I'm
don't
not
cheat.
saying
I
you have
understand.
every right to have your own
No,
opinion.
I understand. It might work for you, bro.
See, man,
but
that's
to
a
me, it
thing.
don't
That's like a
work for me.
generation of angry dudes from Patrice's balls. Just like,
Like,
because he
I'm
died
not-
early, he wasn't given a
what
chance
the-
to grow
the,
up.
The funny thing is, I'm not like Patrice preached a lot, and a lot of dudes who relate to his dialogue are in celibate dudes who are like women
Incels.
only.
A bunch of
fucking,
incel types,
they're
yeah.
only dudes who are like women are good for this and women are good for that. Blah blah blah. But I like to understand.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, hey, tell me how you're feeling, and if I can, if to me it makes sense, I'll change. I'll fucking bend and I'll fucking all of that. So to me, it's like, but to me, I understand none of that shit.
Jay, I got
works.
a question for you.
Sure.
Hearing how you're so stuck in your ways, what do you feel? I feel like one day you're gonna come across someone, a girl, that's gonna fuck up your game and like make you go.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
think
You're
so.
gonna go southpaw. Like
But
I
like,
feel,
bro,
there's
like,
always
I-
that
there's-
one person.
There's none. You
There's
know
always
why?
that one. What is
No,
that?
the
There's
one
none.
the one you'll end up with will see completely past this.
We'll see
and
through it.
See through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That'll-
fucking flip it on you. Because
Absolutely.
like
They can't, bro.
the one
They can't. You know
who I'm
why?
with just fucking undermined every piece of game I ever
It's
had.
so funny
and flipped it.
because I put myself in that position and I say, what would prevent me from being the subservient person to that woman who would like addresses all my concerns and fucking breaks me down to the point where I'm like, damn, you're everything that I wanted. Why wouldn't I break and do the things that you want me to do?
Because the person that you wanted would never make you do that? Are you going that route?
No. The person. No, I'm not saying that at all.
That's
because
exactly where I thought he was gonna go, and I'm fascinated
there's
more
a
now.
person-
Bruh.
There's a person that could do that, right? But
Yeah.
to me, my pride is fucking a billion times higher than that. Where I'm like, that person doesn't
But like,
exist.
But there's
the
always
It's
thing.
not
that
about bending your will
No.
to the person. It's more so just at some point you got to keep empathizing. You got to start having a higher understanding of like the impact of your behavior.
Bro, I date a girl right now who has a child.
Congrats.
who has a 9-year-old kid.
That's
And
Been-
to me,
been there, done
to
that.
me, that
I
is
dated a girl with a
me
kid, bro.
making a sacrifice of being like, hey, I understand your value in the real world is a lot less than I can bring in right now. Right? Like your value. Like dudes look at you and say, you got kid, you got baggage, you got fucking all these things that I could never deal with. I'll put up with it to get some pussy, right? I'll put up with it to get some vagina. Motherfucker,
Wow.
I'll play that game to get that.
Wow.
But in my mind, I'm like, yo,
You're worthless because you had this piece of shit kid.
bro, exactly. Like, I'm not
You're
saying you're
worthless
worthless.
because you
masterclass.
have this piece of shit.
Nah,
No
don't-
one wants to see your old cum being dragged around the town.
I'm not
All
saying
right,
that at all.
no,
I'm
no.
not saying that at all.
You-
I'm
all right,
not
so
saying that
you-
at
you
all.
know,
But
yeah,
what I'm
you're
saying
not
is,
saying that at all.
No, what I'm saying.
Bro, this
What explicitly
Jay,
you were
Jay,
saying.
No,
Jay,
I'm not saying
Jay,
that at
Jay.
all.
Can I
But what
translate?
I'm saying is,
Jay.
what I'm saying is, 80% of the motherfuckers had that mentality. 80% of the dudes had a
And
mentality.
look at me, a good guy
And-
who doesn't.
Exactly.
Well, you a
Look
good
at
guy
me-
if you point to yourself?
Look at
I'm
me.
the most humble in
Look
the
at
room.
me, the dude who's gonna be like, I'm chilling
I'm
out.
the
and
most
I'm
humble
fucking
guy
hanging
you'll ever
out.
meet.
My
Just a
bad.
moment as you move the desk. Can I be devil's advocate for a moment?
Do it.
Be devil's advocate. Okay. What you are describing is a different kind of subtle manipulation
It
where you are
is.
selling that. So you said you're dating somebody who has a kid. You're using the subtle manipulation that there are men who are not going to view you
Nope.
to your advantage.
You're telling them they're worthless
Exactly.
already.
Yeah, like you
I'm
may
not
not be
telling you
saying
you're
it, but you're
worthless. I'm-
utilizing the culture
Here's
that
what I'm
already
saying.
exists.
It's a culture that already
Yeah,
exists.
you're utilizing
and I'm
that to
playing
your
the game
advantage.
exactly. Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't play the game to their
all right,
advantage?
let me make the. So I'm gonna go with he is gonna state that you shouldn't be utilizing that. You should be looking and validating who she is as a person, and not utilizing a culture that would
You gotta be a
diminish
cult
her.
leader. Do you understand?
Bro,
like,
How does
see,
a cult leader work?
This
He would be
motherfucker
dope.
But like,
right
cult
here,
leader,
like,
this
does a
dude
cult
right
leader
here,
brutalize you, or
Wait,
does a
wait,
cult
wait,
leader
I'm
make
not
you
done.
feel
I'm
invincible?
not done. What you're doing is a very classic manipulation that, like, those fucking weird white guys with hats. Those, like, you're essentially
mysterious.
You're
Mysterious.
the phrase is
Mystery, that
negging
was his
her
name.
without doing it.
Mystery.
Like, you know, before you even show up, the second she says she has a kid, you have a leg up if you go, that's cool. If you just generally are like cool with it, you have usurped a weaker dude who wouldn't see that moment. It's like the lion who sees the weakest.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%, man.
Yeah, but then,
And
but you add
here's the
on to
thing,
that,
that is a natural intrinsic belief
it's
that
n-
is in the culture.
Why did you pick that one to use?
I
Yeah.
didn't pick that one. That one picked me.
What-
That one showed
No, no, no.
up.
You
on
said it
my
to her,
step.
so you used it.
yeah.
That one. Here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The whole relationship is who has the power. Every relationship is who has
Yeah.
the power. Every single
You know who
relationship.
has the power?
I would
The person who
disagree
cares
with that
about their own life
completely.
more.
But you know
Bro.
what? But you know what the thing is?
What?
Who has more power? The more that the person that's not willing to compromise as much as the person.
Yeah.
But the problem. So, do you feel like you don't compromise because you feel like you feel powerless if you do?
That's absolutely false because I do compromise, bro. I do
But the
compromise.
thing is,
I
but-
do hang
but the
out.
thing
I
is-
do come home.
but the-
I do
Yeah, I'm
fucking
not-
show. I do hang out and play
But
family
Jay,
time.
but the problem is that in the previous one, you say you don't compromise. So the question.
I say the regular dude doesn't compromise because he understands the average girl who has a kid. There's not a lot of dudes that'll put up with that.
No,
And
you're
why
right.
would
But we're
I
at that
compromise?
age. We're at that
Why
age,
would I
bro.
compromise? You saying we're at that age? Hugh Hefner was fucking 100 years old, motherfucking dating a 20. He don't compromise
because he had that lifestyle. He had
because
that,
his value, bro. His value is up here.
value barely
to a
existed.
female. His value to a female is still high because the average female, what does she want? I want protection. I want to feel like I could do whatever I want and my man has a status. He is a king. That's what I want. That's attractive. My guy is a king and I'm a queen. And that's 100% the dynamic of relationships, and that's gonna be for 1 billion fucking years. So it's been like that for
And that's
forever, my
fine.
guy.
And that's fine if you.
That's all.
And that's fine.
Bro, that's been like that for 1 billion
Jay,
years.
hold up. What are you gonna say, bro?
But I'm saying that's fine. But in that situation where no one is asking you to do something you're not comfortable doing for the sake of a child that's not yours?
She's asking me.
She's asking you to do
She's
that. Well,
asking
then
me.
you have a
She's
different
asking
conversation
me.
versus
Right. So
other people
in
wouldn't do
in my
this.
ideal, it's like
You have to
hey,
have something better than
Bro,
that.
let me tell you something. Dating a girl with a kid is that is a Herculean feat.
It's a huge.
It's a
different dynamic
Herculean-
shift, especially when you don't have a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? Like you have nothing.
But my whole thing-
your thing is, hey, look, I have a house, I pay my bills, I got a nice vehicle, I got a great job, and I do comedy on the side because that's fun for me. So when she comes into your life, she's like, hey, some of that time is going to be mine.
It needs to be reallocated.
Right.
Give up
You need to reallocate some of your time to me. And in your mind, you have to say, is she valuable enough to do that? And if she isn't, then you're not going to do that, right? But if she is, you're going to make that sacrifice for her kid and for her to say, hey, listen, I understand most niggas don't do this shit.
Where's the integrity in that and saying
that's
it?
what I'm saying.
Where's the integrity in saying it?
You need there's no integrity, but the whole dynamic of the relationship is there is a power here, right? And most of the women who try to enforce their power is, hey, look, my pussy is amazing. You're not gonna get this pussy anywhere else. Boy, you understand that? Because that's the relationship. It's, hey, either it's love, attention, affection. What is a girl giving you? Azam, what does your girl give you that makes you feel like
Remember,
I'll
9
spend
years. Go ahead.
I'll spend
9
these
years.
9
Partnership.
years and I'll do the shit you want me to do because you're giving me something that I love and I know I can't get
Have you met
elsewhere.
someone who's helped you out?
Bro,
Yeah,
tons
like-
of girls.
I'm not gonna answer. He'll
Swear,
figure it
my
out.
guy.
All right.
Every girl that I've been in a
You
relationship.
just said before that they offer you this great pussy that's only one stop
That's
shop.
not what
Wait, he
I
was
said.
saying-
I was saying that
Hold on,
about
wait.
this relationship.
What he was saying that is that in general that some
In
people use
general.
that crutch of like, okay, I got this
You
as a
got-
bargaining tool
Yeah,
to get you
exactly.
in.
Exactly.
He's saying that I'm a trump that because I can offer a lifestyle change. So what's a lifestyle change to what you think the quality of your coochie is?
Exactly.
So, but
And that's
So
the
are you
dynamic.
mad that that's the trade-off?
No, I'm not mad at all. That's
Okay.
a trade-off. But I'm gonna say, hey, if
You
that's
know
what
what?
you're trading me, I understand that what you think that value of that is I can get that everywhere else.
But you know
so
what the
to
thing
me,
is?
You're better off than leaving.
No, it's not that I'm better off than leaving. No,
I am-
that's not what it is.
How are you not better off leaving
I
if
am-
you believe in your mind the person is offering you coochie instead in
Bro,
place of all the great things you do for their
Everybody.
child?
My guy, everybody's got coochie. My
Yeah.
thing is, everybody's got
That's
coochie.
exactly right.
So my thing is, hey, what you need to do is prove to me you got more than that. That's what I'm saying. I got more than dick.
Do you ask that?
I got more than dick.
Okay.
Do you
I
ask
asked that in a way to where it's subconscious.
Uh-huh.
And that's why people get upset with me because the dynamic of the relationship is
Because you feel like you give more than they can ever
Still
give.
for
upset.
sure, bro, for sure.
Here's the thing,
For
though. I was literally
100%
just having a
sure.
conversation with my girlfriend about this idea of when your relationship ends because the person didn't feel like they added value to your life.
That's 100%.
Okay. Now, here's the thing about it. At some point, you got to grow up and allow someone to add value.
Yeah.
Because they need it.
That's what I was
They
going to say when you
literally
pointed at
need
me.
to
But
do
if
that.
they can't, if you're
Then why are
adding
you
value,
with them?
if
You're wasting your time that is so valuable
If
that
you're
this person is supposed to be
adding-
beholden to.
If the person feels like they're adding value to your life, right? If your girl feels like, hey, I'm adding value to your life, but that value isn't valuable to you.
Why is she your girl?
Exactly. So
Okay.
my
And
girl.
why are you
It's not-
doing all these
no,
other
here's
things?
the thing, though.
I
This
would
is what
say-
I'm saying. The girl that I'm with realizes what's valuable to this motherfucker, and she will adapt. And girls do that. Girls adapt to, hey, this guy loves comedy. I'm gonna support his comedy dream.
So I
I'm
got a
gonna
question.
show up to his shows.
So I have a
I'm gonna
question.
laugh at his
Jay,
jokes.
so
I'm
you're
gonna
telling
fucking
me-
help him fucking.
So I got a question for you. So you're telling me if a girl doesn't support you, is that them saying that I don't fuck with you or fuck with what you're doing?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying she is not
So if
consciously
someone is-
aware
so quote unquote-
of what she doesn't understand what the dynamic of the
So
relationship
quote
is.
unquote, if they don't, so essentially, if they're not willing to adapt to what you're doing, means that. Bottom line.
That means either two things. That means I don't care what you're doing and you should break up with me, or two, I don't understand how to show you my value. right? So in my relationship now, right? In my relationship, my girl, to show her value, she'll be like, I'll go to every comedy show you ever fucking want me to go to. I'll help you do your
fuck.
material. I'll help. Like if
Wait,
you're
hold up.
doing.
What happened?
Raisa called because it's late, and now our episode looks weird.
I don't care. Bro, my girl, she will fucking run through material with me. She'll time me and she'll be like,
Hold
do
on,
your
wait.
shit.
Is it still?
It's sideways. There's nothing I can do about it.
Thanks.
Fuck. So we should end it. Huh?
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you guys so much.
So
As I'm closing out your fucking
due
shit.
to technical difficulties, we're gonna have to end it.
Dude, this shit was good, bro. I was getting into some shit.
all right.
So I'm just gonna preface it was that
What the fuck? Your pants?
Here, I'm just gonna
I'm just gonna
subtly. Yeah, this is gonna be a weird ending.
yeah. Wow. This,
No, I just want
You know what? I'm gonna
Hold
say.
the
thirsty.
cup.
Yo, the
Hold the cup before you pour it in.
yo,
Just-
yo,
just-
can you
Just
fix that,
slow.
bro?
I'm just slow.
You're on
Is
screen.
that still angle?
You're in frame now.
So
Look at that camera angle this guy's got.
That is hot.
Straight up
That is
diagonal.
That is a 2019 angle.
2054.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, this episode was powered by liquor.
Yeah.
Some people were clearly some people
Wrap it
were
up.
clearly inebriated. So this is a wild episode of the Papi Negro podcast with Phil Eastbay, Hennessy Williams,
Yeah.
and inebriated. And that's it.
I have a show November 17th at the Miami Improv. Yeah, no. By that time.
All right. I'm gonna hit the closer.
I'm gonna try November 17th.